Anyways, yeah, so we'll get it started here.
Yep.
Get the train a-moving.
Woo!
With what we've kind of been doing and what we've been playing.
Yep.
The past week, I've just been playing the occasional World of Warcraft, so just the vanilla server I've just been kind of hampering down on. My girlfriend has been playing Batman, Arkham Knight. Too many Arkham games. So Arkham Knight, and we've been playing side by side. So basically, I've been playing the game as well.
Yes, yeah.
So I've done a couple tank missions for her and stuff like that. So incredibly fun game. It's really good. The story's awesome. I really like it. Rocksteady came back real strong with this one.
On the PS4.
Yes, for the PS4. I do not. PC Master Race let us down on this one. So we were already going to buy it for the PS4 because we like to play games in the living room, especially platforming games. We like to be on the big screen. So, but yeah, I'm glad we did that because
Legendary nailed it.
When the game's pulled from Steam, rip. Yeah, that is no joke.
That's rough, man.
Yeah, especially Green Man Gaming. Green Man Gaming went out and actually started doing refunds, which is unheard of.
That's very unusual.
That's when you know it's really bad.
This is a AAA game. This isn't some shitty War Z bullshit game. This is high profile release. So
right.
That's some shit.
That is some shit.
As they call it in the industry.
Yeah.
Doctors refer to it as that's some shit, homie.
Other than that, no, I haven't been playing anything else. That's been the two main things. We spent all weekend playing games. It was the most wonderful weekend I've ever had.
I actually love those.
They are the best.
Yeah.
Even though the weather's terrible outside, there's also a plus sign to that, which is I get to stay inside.
And play more games, man. Just as long as the power doesn't go out.
Yes.
Did you have any power outages?
We had lights flicker about 20 times, and then we had a tornado warning the other night, where me and Amanda then sat and looked out back to our field to make sure that
we weren't dying.
We weren't going to die.
Yeah. I live in St. Louis, Missouri. Justin lives not too far away, so Tornado Alley is very familiar to us, and we see our fair share of tornado warnings and sightings and all sorts of excitement. So Midwest, fun times.
Midwest weather is absolutely horrible. Don't ever move here. The only reason to move here would be to get away from the high price rates of housing anywhere else in the country.
It is cheap as fuck to live here.
It is very cheap to live in the Midwest. So
even renting, I rent this apartment and it's like the price I'm renting here. If I went to New York or San Francisco, I would be homeless.
You would be paying 4 times the amount.
I would and still be homeless.
I
would be paying. It's weird, fucking weird how that works. But back to WoW, nice.
More, welcome back. Actually, don't welcome back. I quit retail because I couldn't take it anymore. But if you would like to join a WoW private server that runs the most perfect vanilla, I think it's Nostralius WoW. You can try to Google it. I'm sure they'll direct you to the right location. But
nice.
Incredibly fun. We've been having an awesome time. And if you want to play with us, me and a couple friends are playing, so you can just contact me in game.
Good stuff, man.
What about you, Alex? You been doing anything? I saw that you did a game the other day. What was that you posted onto YouTube?
What did I... Oh, yeah, so I do we of course do Super Chat. I know Justin does some Twitch streaming on his own, and I do some Twitch streaming on my own. Not terribly frequently. Not nearly as often as I would like to do, but priorities, real life, adult shit, boring. But, in addition to that, I also have a YouTube channel that I've actually had since, I think, 2008 or so. I've been doing it for quite some time, and have been doing Let's Plays on it. Fairly steadily, although I think before the Let's Play that I have currently, my last update was it was about a year ago, so I had about a year of fairly radio silence, even though I was still doing Twitch streams. Not a lot of action happening on the YouTube front, so I say fairly consistent, but there have been some gaps throughout my 7-year tenure now. But the Let's Play prior to the one that I'm doing now was of Chameleon Twist 2, one of my favorite games in the N64. I think it's a pretty good game, but it's kind of similar to Bomberman 64 in that it's fairly obscure, got okay ratings, okay reviews, had mechanics that were cool but not always perfect. So, pretty good game, but I loved it. And while I was recording, had a bit of an incident, and I actually don't know what caused it, but I recognized what happened as a cartridge tilt. If you want some good YouTube entertainment,
it was one of the best.
It was. I wouldn't call it one of the best. It was pretty good. I've seen some really good ones. If you want some really good entertainment, do a YouTube search for GoldenEye 007 for the N64 cartridge tilt. And though if you want a good example of some good shit, some good cartridge tilts, check out GoldenEye 64. But the idea is that if you tilt a cartridge while the game is running in the N64 in just the right way, you'll certain parts of the game will start to wig out without the game shutting off completely. So certain pins will stop getting connected, and you might hit a non-vital one that means that the game will still run, just not very well or not very stably. And in my case, I don't know what happened. I didn't bump the console, but something happened that caused maybe one of the pins to get kind of loose, and the game's polygons and sound became everywhere.
Yes.
So, there were blues and yellows of the chameleon as well as the level graphics were just all over the fucking place. I could still walk around, but just couldn't see shit. It looked like a Pink Floyd music video threw up. That's how I would describe it. For a couple seconds, and then it just stopped, went back to normal, but the music was still kind of fucked up. And it was like a 30-second video that I posted, because, like I said, it happened while I was recording the Let's Play. Finished the Let's Play, but still had this footage, and I wanted to get it out there, so I posted it the other day. As for games I've been playing now, I'm currently in the midst of a Let's Play of Limbo. That's always fun. Fucking love that game.
I did notice you were posting a bunch of those.
So. I will sing that game's praises until I'm blue in the face. I fucking love that game. But recently, I've been playing more of Icewind Dale. I think I mentioned some of that last week, where it's a D&D 2 / 2nd edition / 3rd edition video game. Been very fun. We've started to hit some really tough parts. Still doing well, but I have a feeling that we're eventually going to start to get to the point where we have to save every encounter and die a fuck ton, reload, die a fuck ton, manage to win, immediately save, scrape by a little by little. It's a tough game.
Yeah.
And we're only in the middle. We're only towards the end of the first real dungeon. So we've got to work it out for us. That's been fun. Also been playing Castle Crashers with some buddies as well.
I've actually never played Castle Crashers. Is it enjoyable?
It is super funsies. It's one of my favorite co-op multiplayer games. Mm-hmm. There are PvP elements to it, versus mode, but the co-op main game is where it's at, and it's so much fun. Anything that Behemoth Games makes is
what else do
gold.
They make?
They made Alien Hominid, they made Battle Block Theater, and they're making a new strategy game, tactical RPG. I don't know if it has a title yet. I think they might just currently call it New Tactical RPG or something like that. It doesn't. I don't think it has an official name. Someone could correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, they don't make a lot of games, but what they do make is super, super good quality.
Yeah.
A couple of my buddies picked it up on the Steam sale, and because it was $1 something at one point, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, I need more excuses to play Castle Crashers. I love that game." So, what's going on, Donut Glazer? Good to see you, man.
Donut Glazer.
It's the Quad Glazer.
Wonderful. And Legendary, I do not raid currently. We haven't hit 60 yet, so we're not even close to that. I just hit 30, and I'm sitting at 2 days, 15 hours played.
Only 2 days and 15 hours?
Only 2 days and 15 hours. I mean, we've been doing PvP here and there and stuff like that, but I've only hit level 30, so it's going to take a little bit of time to get to 60. There are a bunch of raiding guilds that do raid on there, and they're fairly easy to get into. There's about, I'd say on average, a day there's typically 7,500 to 10,000 people playing, so... And it's one server, so it gets kind of clusterfucky at times, but it's really fun. I would say try it out at best. So, is the PvP good on the server? Yeah, PvP's fun. Vanilla PvP's great. Obviously, you run into the balance issues that vanilla had, which was hybrid classes are only really healers and stuff like that. So, PvP's it's really fun. They have all the original titles. They also have all the original gear that's available out now, so it's pretty good.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Yeah, pretty good week for gamings.
Yeah,
demons.
I've had a good week. I'm sure this week's going to be absolutely excellent as well. So.
Nice. Yeah. Yep. Shall we hop into the first topic for the day?
We'll hop into the first topic here. If I can get this to work right. I was actually going over a couple things. I was reading a few things today.
Yeah. Yes, you sent me some.
Yeah. Okay, I sent you something, and I was actually thinking of something else in general. So I had an idea of what are kind of poor choices that are made by developers that cause a flop or something to happen to either a system or a game or anything like that. And I was trying to come up with ideas for that. I think I sent you one. I can't remember what I sent you.
There was one that you had sent me that I also agree is a really good topic is why the Wii U just hasn't really caught on.
yeah.
Because I mean, I love my Wii U, but I mean, I'll be the first to admit that it has not been selling very well.
No,
compared to the Wii.
So
it is,
yeah,
it
I
is
sent you an article about that with Miyamoto's actual interview.
Mm-hmm.
How was that? Do you think it was pretty straightforward? Like, do you agree with it?
I think to a certain extent I do. I think it was a pretty fair summary. For those who haven't read the article, Shigeru Miyamoto was interviewed by I can't remember what medium it was.
I do not know.
But the basic topic drifted towards the Wii U and why it has or hasn't performed to expectations. And Miyamoto admitted, it was like, yeah, you know what, it hasn't really been selling that well. Never really caught on the way we had hoped that it would. When comparing it to the Wii U, it is night and day. I think in the article it mentions that it's up to a certain point, like up to a recent date, up to a recent milestone, had sold just a little bit under 10 million units, which is pretty cool, but the PS4 took I think less than a year to sell that much.
Yeah.
So Wii U's been left in the dust numbers-wise.
Mm-hmm.
And to Nintendo's credit, they've continued to support it, and they have been making a lot of very vocal assurances to reinforce the fact that they plan to support it. I think a lot of people were a little nervous because there's been talk about this Nintendo NX, which is the code name for their next console.
Right.
Which to some was like, oh shit, are they abandoning the Wii U? Because that'd be kind of shitty for those like myself who adopted it.
That's still normal development cycle, though. I mean, they typically do start working on a newer gen system pretty early on.
Yeah, it's been said that Nintendo's always working on their next console. Before the Wii U came out, they had started working on the Wii. Before the Wii came out, they had started working on the Wii U, designing it and all that stuff. Which, on the one hand, is pretty cool because it's nice to know that they're active. But on the other hand, it can lead to cases like this. And with this particular case, what Miyamoto was saying was that the biggest reason it didn't quite work is that it never really connected with audiences the way that they wanted it to. And part of that was that he thinks that there were misunderstandings about how the tablet controller was meant to be used by developers, meant to be used by users, by gamers. He's thinking that the tablet was what turned some people off from it. And when they first started working on it, tablets, I mean, you can hold up the tablet that you're using right here. Tablets, as we know them nowadays, were kind of niche, kind of fresh, hadn't really caught on. The iPad was still kind of I would say overpriced. I would still say it's overpriced, but that's the hater in me speaking. So I'm not sipping on haterade today. I'm trying to be objective here. But yeah, it just hadn't quite caught on. By the time the Wii U came out, tablets had totally caught on to the point where the draw of the Wii U tablet just wasn't quite as fresh. It was like, it's a tablet, big fucking deal. We have those all over the place. Why is that exciting to us? And in all fairness, I think they've done a good job of doing some cool stuff with it, but for mass audiences, it didn't have the appeal that the Wii had, where motion controls, holy shit, that's brand fucking new. Well, it's not brand new, but it was fairly fresh, and it was, of course, fairly cheap compared to the other alternatives out there at the time. So it kind of missed the point from a timing perspective. And that is more or less the essence of what the article came down to.
Right.
What do you think?
I think you got it. I mean, I think the major thing is like the people were afraid of the tablet initially, being like, holy shit, why does this system need a tablet?
Yeah.
You know, like, what am I going to be doing with this giant-ass controller?
Yeah.
So I could see that.
Yeah.
I saw the ups of it. I wanted a Wii U when it was first coming out, because I was like, I can play this fucking thing remotely. Like, this is going to be great. Like, I don't even have to turn on the TV to play. You know, like, this is pretty cool. But it's kind of a niche thing, you know. It's whether you actually need that or not. And then I looked at the hardware aspect of it, and only a year later was going to be PS4 and Xbox One, which, I mean, literally doubled the amount of everything that was being put into the Wii U. So on a hardware standpoint for me, I was just like, it's kind of looking grim now, and they didn't really have the games that I was personally wanting. So But, I mean, times change, and I want different games all the time. So, I mean, I still want a Wii U, but I'll wait for, like, a deal or something comes out. And
that's what I'd recommend, honestly. Wait for a deal or a bundle. Some nice timing to snag one.
And I wouldn't say Xbox One is garbage. I would say that it's a decent system. I mean, I'm on the board of, I wish that companies would stop making exclusives, and I wish you could buy the system that you wanted. and you could play on it. You
Yeah.
know, I think exclusives have their place, but I think we're getting closer and closer to the era of
Yeah.
it's kind of available for everyone except for PC when they try to fucking just port bullshit from PC over. So
Or when bullshit PC ports happen. Look
Yeah.
at you, Arkham Knight.
So with Arkham Knight, yeah, as I was saying earlier, yeah, I mean, poor choices made by developers. I think a poor choice was definitely to not spend as much time as they should have on the port. You know, if you're gonna port a game and you're not gonna develop it for the actual system, so Grand Theft Auto did the good thing, which was at the same time that they were coming out with the Xbox version, original Xbox 360, PS3 version, they were already actively working on a PC version behind the scenes. And they were trying to grasp whether or not they should actually do it.
Yeah.
Well, then they were like, okay, yeah, we're going to do it. And then alongside developing the first-person mode for PS4 and Xbox One, they were simultaneously developing for PC for Grand Theft Auto 5. And I think that's if you want to release a game that's going to have potential, you need to do it that way. I think you have to develop for the system that you're making it for. Porting a game is fucking weird because what it does is it forces the game to try to run on the original hardware. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to take the Xbox version of the game. They're trying to move it to PC architecture, but what they do is they have the PC run as if it's running on the Xbox. So what they do is they lock a lot of times they lock frames. They lock the ability for your CPU to read what type of RAM, like how much of it it's using. So that's why typically they end up being really shitty. Is that they're locking down all these things because they're trying to mimic exactly how it's running on the Xbox One, but obviously the architecture is similar, but it's not always the same.
Yeah.
So
What's going on, D-Man? Thanks for joining, man. Good to see you.
what's up, D-Man?
And yeah, those are all very good points. I know with the Arkham Knight debacle that has happened with the PC port, a lot of people have likened it to the first Dark Souls game.
Had a horrible port.
It was rough. Rough. I love that game. I played the shit out of it on the PC. Loved every second of it. But the reason I was able to play it successfully and not rage everything is because, like everyone else, I got the DS fix, which is a DLL that some altruistic soul out there created of his own free will and out of the kindness of his heart that would unlock the FPS limit. It would allow for Xbox 360 controls, all these wonderful things that really should have been implemented. So I mean, that's unfortunate. And From Software, the developer for the game, has come forward and said, yeah, we kind of fucked up on that. Sorry about that, guys. We had no idea how to do a PC port.
No.
And people asked for it, and our publisher was like, do it now. We were like, oh shit, okay. And pooped it out in a matter of months.
Yeah.
I think people had there was like a petition created, I think in December, and I think it was out by like April or August maybe. It was a matter of just a couple of months in the grand scheme of things, which is kind of unheard of. But in the case of Arkham Knight, come the fuck on, guys. You knew there was going to be a PC version.
You had a long way. You guys even had a delay. You had a significant delay.
They did have a delay.
So
I have a hard time cutting them the same slack that I give From Software. So,
they're actively fixing issues, but it's to the point of I really want to see those numbers for how many people refunded the game.
They would be depressing, I'm sure.
I'm sure
they would be depressing. And Legendary... Oh, I'm sorry. Go
No, you're...
I just want to point out Legendary Lyric brought up an interesting point. The question of the Steam box and how it matches up... Or Steam, I guess, boxes and how they match up with the current consoles. And, I'm really not informed enough to know about Steam boxes.
It honestly depends on which one you want. So if you're looking to buy, like, an Alienware Steam box, you're typically going to just be running Windows on the box itself, and it's going to be running... It's going to open up probably with Steam in full screen mode, doing what did they call it? They call it their Steam
Big Picture mode?
The Big Picture mode, basically.
I don't know why I did this.
Now, there is Steam OS.
Yes.
But Steam OS isn't fully verified. It's still got its issues and it's still got its bugs.
I can see that, yeah.
So, and it's running straight off of just a basic Linux platform. So you're not going to have a lot of games available for you. The thing is that if you get a Steam box with Linux, what everyone is saying to do is to just reformat as a Windows machine and play it that way.
Yeah.
But Steam machines aren't meant for you and me. If we already play PC games, we're typically familiar with building a PC, and we're typically familiar with with the hardware. This is more or less to get people into the scene. So people are like, oh, well, I've always wanted to get into the PC scene. I've always wanted to own one, but I have no knowledge of actually making one. I don't really have the aspiration to do that. What can I do instead of going out and buying a pile of shit Dell? Well, then you have the options of buying a Steam machine for like $800.
Yeah.
Which, granted, you could probably make for $400, but you're spending the money to not have to do the work.
Right.
You're not doing any legwork. You're just buying the machine. It'd be like just going to like CyberPower or Origin Gaming to buy a PC. You're paying for getting someone else to build a product for you. So yeah, I mean, I see Steam boxes as honestly just a way of selling, just like Origin PC does to sell their machines. I don't see it any different unless it's running the proprietary SteamOS software.
That's a good point too. That might be something to watch for. I'm sure as it improves improves over time, and gets optimized better and gets cooler shit to it. That might be what sets it apart from the competition. Because, like you described it, I mean, it doesn't really sound like it's super special,
right?
Comparatively, because of SteamOS not quite getting there.
And then Legendary said, I just imagine it being plugged into the TV instead of my Xbox and using a controller instead of a keyboard and mouse. Very true. Now, it brings us to the Steam controller, which I do want.
Yeah, I kind of do too.
I do want it because I honestly just want to have it, and I'm sure it's going to be a great thing. If you want to plug your PC up to the TV, I do that. You know, like I plug mine up. I just HDMI it and just go that route. And I already use an Xbox controller for over half my games.
Yeah,
so
that works.
I mean, I technically already have a Steam machine if that's where we're going.
Yeah.
And I can see people wanting to move their games into the living room.
Yeah.
Just buy Steam's it's like $50 I think, and it's just basically a mini PC that you can just place into the living room, and what you do is you stream from your main machine to the PC and you play it on there.
It's like a receiver.
Yeah,
like
it's basically just
box.
A receiver, yeah.
Yeah.
It works kind of like Chromecast and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's just receiving a signal.
That's a good way to describe it. I like that. And I almost can't help. Like, I'm trying to think, when I think of the Steam box and all these, and what they're kind of going for, it kind of brings to mind, I think you brought up a lot of really good points about kind of what they're going for. It sounds like that's an awfully niche market, though. Do you think that's sustainable?
I don't think it's.
I'm a little bit concerned.
I'm concerned too because the hype for SteamOS has fallen off almost completely.
Yeah,
like there's really not much kind of going for them anymore. If they would have came out with it 2 years ago, sure.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have been. It would have been buggy as hell, and it would have received a lot more flack than what they're doing now. Yeah. I think it still has a ways to come as far as getting it open source and getting all these games to switch over to a Linux platform. Honestly, it's a very good platform. Playing Team Fortress and stuff on it, I was getting more frames and I was getting better performance. But it's just every developer needs to play to the market, and I'm sorry, but Linux doesn't have that big of a base.
Not yet.
It's not there. So, and Steam was trying to help them out by pushing this out and being like, "Hey, developers, make games for this, make games for this." And a lot of developers did. They took the bait, and they've made games that are compatible with Linux, but it's just not enough yet, and I don't. It's going to be a bit. I think eventually we'll get to it.
I think so too.
But I don't see it in the near future.
Yeah, that's a good summary. Good way to put on a nice little package. Yeah, it'll be something to watch for. I hope. I mean, I could see a Steam box being cool if you go to a lot of LAN parties. You don't lug all these big bastards around, but still want some more horsepower than a laptop. I could see that being a decent alternative at least. Things like that. I mean, granted, that's not like little mini LAN-friendly PCs. They're not a novel concept, but hopefully this will at least Steam throwing their weight behind it will hopefully turn things out well for them. I mean, Valve has a tendency to churn out quality. I mean, it can sometimes take them a while, but usually what they arrive at is worth the time and the money. So here's to hoping that they don't break that trend. Like I said, I'm a little concerned with the nicheness of kind of what it appears that they're going for, but I suppose only time will tell. I'm cautiously optimistic. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic for it. I want it to work just for the sole fact that I would love to only have Linux on my machine. I've
That'd
only
be
had
cool.
Linux before, and it was so wonderful. But obviously, you can't play
I
games.
was gonna say
You can use
yeah.
you can use wine tricks to play half your shit, which I was able to do. You know, play Diablo and
Yeah.
and stuff. But
That's cool, but yeah.
but you're literally emulating the Microsoft software at that point.
And that at that point, is it really worth it? That's
Right.
That's where it gets weird.
So, I did not watch Boogie's reaction to Batman. I'm sure it was
Oh,
absolutely
man.
wonderful. I love Boogie.
Do you think he ripped his shirt?
He probably did.
He probably ripped his shirt.
It was probably him and Francis, you know. And then with pre-purchasing, I think I've actually finally learned my lesson. I didn't pre-purchase Batman.
Good.
I didn't pre-purchase Witcher. I haven't pre-purchased anything. My thing is that I'm gonna now wait until release date because it's all digital anyways.
Yeah.
And I really could give a shit less about day one, bonuses or whatever.
Yeah.
I would rather honestly see how the game does performance-wise before spending your money on it, because people do need to buy. They need to buy responsibly, and they needed to show their disdain for these games with their wallets. If you're buying the game and then being like, "Well, I hate this," the company's still getting money for it.
They got your money, man.
They got your money, and they don't.
You're dead to them.
I'm sure they could care less, really, at that point. So you already bought the game. You already purchased their product. I would recommend that everyone wait until day one, unless you're somehow getting a disc, which honestly, this day and age, it doesn't even matter anymore anyways.
Yes.
Sure, you can probably still go get a disc day one anyways, but
Yeah.
for any type of games, I wouldn't pre-order it. Now, game system, sure, why not? If you want a game system, but I see that more as
Even more. Well, maybe not more so, but
I
that's
see-
still a risk.
Yeah, it's very much a risk. I see game systems as an investment, so I see it as, is this going to get better over 10 years? I see a console life cycle being like the last generation, which was 10 years. This one might even be longer because of the hardware. So, I don't know. I see that as investment. If you want to pre-order that, sure. You're following into the same boat, which is you don't know how it's going to act on day one.
Yeah.
So,
It's a lesson that we all need to be taught. We're all guilty of pre-purchasing. I am. I'm sometimes a sucker. I think we've mentioned the collector's editions and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it's kind of getting to that point where voting with your wallet is kind of what if people maybe pre-order less or try to be a little bit more. I don't want to say responsible because that sounds condescending, but more trepidatious or more hesitant about immediately throwing their $60 at a pre-order for a AAA title that sounds nice, but I don't know. It's hard. I'm finding it harder and harder to justify, and stuff with Batman, even and to a lesser extent Witcher. I know there were some
issues.
There were some, but they were addressed fairly quickly. I think CD
Yeah.
Projekt Red has done a good job of addressing those fairly soon, but still, that can be rough. And consoles, man, I don't know. Sometimes it's even worse. Again, not to hate on the Wii U, I love it to death, but people who bought the day one Wii U had like a 3-hour-long day one patch that they had to install, and that's some shit, man. So, and obviously I was not one of those early adopters because I just had hesitation there. As much as I love Nintendo, I gotta put my own sanity first. So these are things to consider. And I would put consoles under that same umbrella of be careful there, man. Don't get too excited.
When you say game, Boris Johnson, hello, by the way. But when you say games are usually cheaper to pre-order, that is correct about 5% of the time. Typically, games are not cheaper when you pre-order. They're typically going to be about the same price.
$18 on Origin. Wow, that's a steal. That's a steal nowadays. Even
Jesus.
That's very unheard of. Actually,
That is unheard of.
I
didn't even know that was available. How did you even get wind of that? Because that's impressive.
I'd be curious, unless it was like cashing in on like saved up discounts or anything like that.
Yeah, that sounds almost impossible.
Yeah, I'd be curious if you had any details to offer, Boris, on how you're able to get only $18. That is a fucking steal. Tell me your secrets. I want to learn.
Right.
That's awesome. And I've actually heard a lot of really positive things about Windows 10. I did sign up for the free edition, the free version of that comes with Windows 7 users. So I'm hopeful, but. On the same discussion, I'm gonna enter with beta. I'm gonna enter with some hesitancy. So we'll see what happens. But I'm not gonna throw myself into it full fledged.
Right. And he was saying that basically, Legendary was telling that Boogie was saying that how much it cost Warner Brothers because Steam keeps their cut even when the game is returned.
That's delicious. Oh. Warner
Well,
Brothers, your tears are so tasty.
They are tasty.
Just like Scalia's. Piece of shit.
One thing we didn't go over
Cautious optimism.
a couple of weeks ago, because we were going to talk about it when we were talking about the E3 stuff.
Yeah.
And we just talked.
We got
about
excited.
E3. We got really excited about
A
E3.
little excited about E3.
Because E3 for once was actually a good E3.
Shit happened, man.
Right. So things happened. We had to talk about it. I'll happily trade in my Windows 8 laptop for 10. I'm optimistic about 10. 10's going to be great because Microsoft does well on every other operating system. So Windows 10 makes me excited.
Yeah.
I am not going to get a day one. For this.
Just all across the board. Everyone's like, yeah, sign me up. Jason's got their idea. What's going on, Jason? Nice to see you, by the way, buddy.
For this reason only, is that I'm hopeful that all games will work backward compatible, right?
That'd be nice.
I hope there's no struggle between things not working with Windows 10. I'm sure people are testing behind the scenes, but I would honestly hold off for the first couple days on installing. I don't know if it's going to automatic. I know it's a Windows update. I would wait to hear. Most people get it for free, so it's not like you're buying it anyway. So I would wait. I would wait a couple days, make sure people can actually play games.
Fuck
make
that,
sure
I'm
people.
gonna wait like a month. Let all the early adopters find all the bugs for me. I don't want to do that shit. It's too much work.
So be careful, I would say.
Download responsibly. Update responsibly.
But I am excited for new DirectX. Is that what it is?
Will, and that's I hadn't even considered that, but that's a really good point. That's worth getting excited about.
That is very worth it. So yeah, I'm excited. But going back now, we were going to talk about the Video Games Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And,
man.
And the people who
shit, we were going to talk about that. Holy shit. Woo.
So the games that got put into the Hall of Fame, I luckily wrote them down today.
Yeah, I would have to look it up because I can't remember.
Is Doom, Pac-Man, Pong, Super Mario Brothers, Tetris, and World of Warcraft. I don't have an issue with any of those.
I really don't either.
I think those all definitely they earn the respect of everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, they're great games, and people are like, World of Warcraft isn't old enough, but World of Warcraft. Do you know how many people played that fucking game?
That game's a fucking revolution.
Back in 2004, 2005, I couldn't find a person that had never tried World of Warcraft, you would go talk to a person on the street and I play WoW. I've tried that game. I've heard about it. Even my dad knew what the fuck World of Warcraft was without me even having to tell him.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
people who have never played a video game in their life know what World of Warcraft is. The same way that most of them know what Tetris is.
Right.
The fact that you can... that's in the same level of consciousness should indicate what a big fucking deal that game is.
I do agree that Legend of Zelda should have been inducted.
Well, and that's the tricky thing, because I wholeheartedly agree with that entire list. Those are all pivotal games that deserve the recognition that they got. That's not to say that those are the only games that deserve that recognition. I mean, in my fanboy dream world, I think Legend is. I think personally, I would say Ocarina of Time, but realistically, probably Link to the Past, as well as first Half-Life, but.
Right.
But I mean, this is the first wave of
people getting inducted.
Hopefully, many of games getting inducted. The same way they do the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame every year. It's a new list of inductees, new candidates, and then inductees, and all that other fun stuff. So this isn't to say that this is all that there's going to be. There will be more, but yeah, it's.
I think they're going to be inducting games yearly.
I hope it's.
I think it's going to be yearly, or it's going to be bi-yearly. It's going to be fairly often.
Oh.
So I don't expect as many games next year. It's probably just going to be a pick and few, because I don't think they want to overload it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's going to be decently often, and also. D-Man, you have the fucking willpower of just straight iron. Just iron will. I don't even know how you didn't try it. And for this asshole it said, "What's WoW? You go to hell." You know exactly what.
I love your screen name.
Kim Jong the weeaboo.
Yeah. And D-Man's gonna offer you a bro fist through the screen. Put your fist right here. I've never touched WoW either. And Justin knows I'm a snob when it comes to MMOs. I'm a complete and fucking liberal snob, elitist piece of shit, and I admit it because I'm a self-deprecating, self-hating piece of shit. But yeah, I never played WoW. You know that I played the shit out of the Secret World, which is an MMO, and that was the first one to really convert me for the time being, at least. But Yeah, I never did play it, but I mean, I feel like I know so many people that have played it and play it currently. I feel like I know so much about the game. I kind of feel like I've played it just by osmosis, by being in close proximity to Justin. I feel like his WoW knowledge is seeping into my brain like a
It's
sponge.
just an aura.
It's just radiating like radiation. I'm gonna get cancer next week. So yeah, you can't swing a dead gamer without hitting somebody who's playing
Right.
WoW.
A RuneScape player. I actually played RuneScape.
Yeah, I remember.
I think everyone,
RuneScape, yeah.
a lot of people played RuneScape because it was browser based.
It
Anyone
was.
could pick it up.
It was.
I chopped some fucking wood for 9 hours, and why not?
Man.
And Roller Coaster Tycoon, that is definitely a game
That's my shit.
I
Yes.
hope that they get inducted. They should have been already. I think they should have been within the first wave because that took everyone.
It's an awesome game, but I would much sooner expect a game like Legend of Zelda to make it.
Okay,
before.
yeah.
Give it a couple waves, then we'll talk. But it's a great series. I fucking love the first 3 Roller Coaster Tycoon games.
Yeah, when you get into the more
but yeah, there's it is a great series, and when it comes to the simulator, not simulator, I guess management games, if that makes any sense. I guess just the Tycoon games. That was the first one to really sink its hooks into so many people. Fucking love those games.
Do you have to live in your parents' basement to play WoW? No, you can play it anywhere. You can even play it outside, which
outside? What
I've
the fuck is
achieved
that?
before.
Oh man.
No, you asshole.
God,
Get
outside.
out of here.
Outside. That sounds awful. Sounds gross.
Somebody said GoldenEye 64.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would be okay with that.
Okay.
Because that really did a lot of. It did a good job of making console first-person shooters like viable. It wasn't perfect, obviously, but it showed that it could be done and it could be done well. That and Doom 64 were like super awesome console first-person shooters that kind of defied logic. Where it's like an N64 controller with first-person shooters. Fuck that! Why would you do that? And they just fucking worked somehow by the grace of God. Oh man, love GoldenEye. Dang, so damn good.
GoldenEye. I love that game for the sole fact of me going back and then being like, holy shit, I can't see more than 4 people in fucking front of me.
It is a...
or 4 feet in front of me. Alright, it's so foggy.
It's tough. It's I love that game so much. I did a Let's Play of it a year or 2 ago. I fucking love it. But it is not aged perfectly. It's aged decently well. As far as console shooters for the N64 goes, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It is the pinnacle of N64 first-person shooter goodness, but it's still has some blemishes, and yeah, going back and playing it nowadays is not without its issue. Control-wise and display-wise, it's not perfect. It's got some issues, but I love it, warts and all.
I think while naming off 64 games, I can name a couple here. Perfect Dark. Absolutely definite.
Yeah, it's the perfect sequel to GoldenEye.
Yes, yeah. They even had a facility? Is that what it is?
They called it Felicity.
They called it Felicity.
So fucking dumb.
I used to just sit in the back room with a laptop gun on the outside and a far sight, and I would just look through the walls and kill people.
Man, motherfucking laptop gun and the far sight. God, that gun was such bullshit.
That gun was bullshit.
I mean,
auto targeting
mode.
Just follow people. Also, Conker's Bad Fur Day, just for being just an overly amazing game that I don't know why my parents let. It was just a cute squirrel on the front.
How bad could it be?
How bad?
And it says it's rated M, but nah.
I don't even know ratings back then. So yeah,
so innocent. It was a simpler time.
It was a simpler time. I'm trying to think of any other 64 games. Obviously, any Mario game.
Yeah.
You know, I'm surprised that Mario isn't on here, but I guess they didn't want to go to public. I don't really understand. Mario should have been there. I guess.
I think so. I would say the first one, the original Super Mario Bros. Is what I would expect to see in the second wave of games.
Perfect Dark frame rate was terrible. Yes, it was.
Oh yeah,
it was like 5 to 10 frames a second.
That expansion pack to increase the RAM was adorable.
Yes.
But it can only do so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, the frame rate was balls. The I guess remastered edition that they put on the Xbox 360 was functionally good. It had all the same shitty animations, so like the textures were nice and pretty, and the fog was going, and the frame rate was nice, but like it still had the shitty, awkward animations and the weird voice acting. So you still got the same charm. That was a nice addition for it, but There's nothing like the old school edition, man. It's hard to go back.
Superman 64. Don't name the worst game ever made.
Well,
and try to.
I think we need like video, like the movies have the Razzies.
The Razzies. We
need a.
We definitely need one of those.
We need a good name for it. I'll have to think of a good name for
that. Might be a topic next week.
Oh yeah.
Naming the most terrible games to ever exist.
God, we could fill like weeks worth of content with that, man.
That one trucking game where I just saw somebody driving.
No, not Big Mother Truckers.
No, what fucking game was that?
Not Big Rigs. Was it Big Rigs?
It might have been Big Rigs.
It might have been Big Rigs.
You just drive over mountains and shit.
You would go over. You would be about to go over a bridge and nope. Just go down the ravine and like all these jagged edges. You're just going beat bopping all over it. Fucking greatest game ever. 10 out of 10. Game of the year for the next 20 years. Nailed it.
100%.
Snailed it.
I had an unofficial expansion pack thing used to overheat.
Oh God, it sounds miserable. I'm so sorry, Boris.
You know what? Speaking of train simulators, I actually used to play a train simulator.
Nice.
And it was horrible.
Aww.
I mean, it was a terrible time, but I forced myself to play.
You know, that actually, it brings up an interesting point because I had this with a couple of my buddies. We had a board game night, and one of them mentioned where it's like, hey, did you guys ever play this really obscure game for the NES? And we were all like, we've never even heard of it. And he was like, yeah, well, at first I used to play it all the fucking time because I thought it was great, but like super difficult. I went back and played it as an adult, and no, it's just super fucking terrible.
Right.
It's when you're a kid, you only have, so many games. You might play the shit out of a game and like think it's great and have a blast with it, which is cool and innocent and adorable. But then when you go back and play it, it's like, what was I thinking? This game was fucking terrible. But it's all you had, so can't really complain.
No, can't at all.
Yeah.
How about a Super Check 64 simulator? That would be the most incestual.
No, it would be. I actually have no idea.
How would that even be played?
You would have like a list of shitty topics, and you'd have like a list of topics, and for Alex, it would be talk about Limbo, talk about Half-Life, talk about Nintendo, be vulgar as like your options. Pick one of show Dexter, show the dog.
Yep, show Dexter.
Froth at the mouth about Steam, froth at the mouth about Nintendo. All my bullshit fanboyisms that I have no shame about. Maybe a little bit of shame.
I have no shame about my family.
So it'd be like a discussion simulator.
Old games were stupidly hard. Yeah, old game. Okay,
they were.
Where? I don't know. I'm gonna say were. Old games were stupidly hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I watched a speedrun of Contra today, where a guy did it in 9 minutes.
That sounds.
And I was like, how the fuck? He's like, yeah, I did this 1,300 times to get this run, and I was like, that sounds about accurate. But Jesus, yeah, old games were definitely hard. Speaking of Alex, I don't see him. That lovable glass of water. Yes. Don't worry, he'll return soon enough.
Yeah, let's put it right. He's not glass. He's
now a red Solo cup today.
Trying to angle it just right. Yeah, that was some funny shit. Thank you for bringing back that wonderful memory, D-Man. That was some funny shit.
So,
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say in the last stream, we were at Justin's place. We had a table set up, and I had a glass of water sitting right above where Alex, the label, shows up. And D-Man very accurately pointed out, it looks like it's a name tag for Alex. So Justin, in his infinite wisdom, sent me an Imgur link. I open it. It's a screen cap and that fucking glass of water with the Alex label, and I'm like, God damn it, this needs to be my Facebook profile picture.
Yep.
And I have not made it yet because gay marriage got ratified, so I had to get on the rainbow. get on the rainbow barfing. The rainbow barfing
Legendary
train.
said every WoW update. Soon it's going to be a one-button attack for all attacks. WoW's like we removed 12 of your attacks and combined into 3 of them. Yeah, absolutely. If you're going with me, you only have one ability, which is just talk about WoW. And it's not very effective in any means. It does no damage.
But the TP is like infinite. So
yeah, so you can just use it every time. It's like Splash from Magikarp. Yeah, that's how I imagine it, with just infinite points.
It's roll out.
Doom. So I was gonna say Doom is being inducted. That was actually, I think, one of the first games I ever played on PC. My cousin had it on PC. Her and her husband, and they hooked me up, and they said, "Here you go, play this." It was on floppy.
Oh
God, I have very good memories of that game, and just being like, this is one of the best experiences I've ever had. So fun.
Yeah. That's a good game to start on too. Like PC
Yeah.
gaming, what a great entry
Yeah.
into PC gaming.
Very fun. Died a lot of times.
That's amazing.
Pac-Man, okay.
Waka waka,
Might as well
motherfucker.
just fucking give it to them because, yeah, as far as arcade goes, sure, Pac-Man was awesome.
Pac-Man Fever. Yeah, arcades and all the ports and God, man, that was such a phenomenon.
Super Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah, Pac-Man Adventures.
Where's Qbert? I want to know where Qbert's at. I'm just kidding. Pong. Okay, sure.
It has to be.
Yeah.
It has to be on there. It is.
You can't really start with any other
quintessential.
game, so. Oh wait, Super Mario Brothers was on there.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Then I rest my case. I'm satisfied.
For some reason, as I'm looking down and reading over it, when I said that earlier, I somehow moved over it. But yeah, Super Mario Brothers was on there.
Don't copy that floppy, ladies.
Tetris. I actually used to play a lot of Tetris.
Yeah.
I played a lot on the Super Nintendo.
Oh.
Very fun, and then obviously Dr. Mario was great as well.
Tetris, it's like the fucking perfect game, man.
It is very good.
It's just anyone can pick it up. Like it requires. It's one of those easy to pick up, difficult to master. Like it's the epitome of that paradigm. Ah, man, that game's so fucking fun. I don't care who you are, how old you are, how grizzled of a gamer you are, how hardcore of a gamer you are. Fire up some motherfucking Tetris, you know you're gonna have a blast. And all the ports, all the sequels, all the multiplayer editions, all the battle editions. Ah, so fucking good. Yeah, Tetris. It's hard to pick just one game that's worthy of that title, but I don't know, man. Tetris might be my number one pick for the Hall of Fame because it's just so timeless. Oh,
it is. It also made me watch an hour-long segment from the
motherfucking AGDQ.
Yeah, Awesome Games Done
Dude,
Quick.
that was so baller.
It was one of the best segments.
Oh, so cool.
And
man.
then what was it? A week after he left, one of the guys left. He actually got the world record.
He achieved
for it.
Grandmaster status.
Which
has been done a couple of times outside the U.S., but he was the first guy in
the
country
United
to do it.
States. Because all the Asians are crazy.
That was a religious experience.
That is. He has 2 Tetris machines in his house, which is, I guess it was pretty much required. You have to wake up and immediately start playing to just.
He's my fucking hero.
He was awesome. That was a good run, and he talked for most of the way through it, which was pretty impressive.
He described. It's like the perfect Twitch stream mix of super awesome skill, but also really amicable nature and really good at being descriptive and narrating what he's doing and being informative. And I think my favorite part about both the stream, the AGDQ, and the stream that he did by at his own place where he succeeded at achieving Grandmaster rank is that he looks like he's having a motherfucking blast.
Yeah.
He looks like he is having the time of his life playing this game that he's probably sunk thousands of hours into.
Oh, yeah.
And all of his friends are around him, all these people that are in the Tetris speedrun, or I guess Grandmaster, or like the Championship Edition community are there pat him on the back and give him encouragement. It was such people are such shitheads on the internet. They're watching look at this fucking nerd putting out he's got dumb looking hair and all this bullshit. They're just being assholes to him. It's like, man, fuck you. He is having the time of his life playing this awesome game. He's surrounded by all his friends, and he just pulled off some of the dankest shit you'll ever see on Twitch.
Yeah.
And I commend him fully. That guy's my fucking hero.
He's awesome.
I think Kevin DDR is his Twitch handle.
That is his Twitch handle, yep.
Coolest motherfucker ever. Go stop watching us right now. Go watch him. He's way cool.
He's very cool.
He's way more entertaining. It was so heartwarming. It was this is what gaming's about. It's about all being in it together, and all about supporting that community feel and achieving crazy shit and being fucking nerds about it and embracing it. It was just okay. I'm off my soapbox, but yeah, that was so fucking cool. That was the epitome of AGDQ in its summary. Just if I had to put AGDQ in 1 10-minute segment, that's what I would point to. So I liked it. It was good. It was alright. Yeah, it was okay. 5 out of 10.
Candy Crush included with all Windows 10. Yeah, we actually talked about it before.
Oh,
when I said I think I asked Alex a couple of weeks ago. I was like, what game is coming preloaded with Candy Crush? Because we were talking about Super Cadet Pinball.
Yeah. Yes.
And yeah, fucking Candy Crush.
Motherfucking Candy
Those
Crush.
Bastards.
God.
They love for people to sink money into their games, and they do really good at it.
Yep.
Can I get advice on GPU? You would have to tell me what you're interested in. Nvidia's got the just the fucking grasp on the market right now.
It's kind of hard to argue.
Yeah,
Nvidia.
Nvidia's kind of the way to go. So
I have Nvidia.
you would fucking download Super Cadet Pinball. God,
Yes!
I need to download it. Ah, it's so great.
All right, stream's canceled. We're closing down. We're playing that for the next 20 hours of my life.
Super Cadet Pinball. My brother
God.
played so much of that fucking game, man.
I can see that.
Speaking of Candy Crush, going back to the topic, I actually sent Alex today.
Yes, good transition.
Was the fact that they are part of these just conglomerate of companies that are using this terrible pay-to-win system and end up ruining people in a way.
Yeah.
It was a post on Reddit today about like basically shitty tactics used by these game developers to make money, and the major one obviously was these pay-to-win games or these pay-to-play games that are on the App Store that kind of have this bad stigma. But the bad thing is like, as one guy said on Reddit, was his girlfriend that he met, or where we met his girlfriend, she was broke every fucking week. She never had money, and he was like, I don't understand. She can't pay her rent. She can't do anything. Fucking Game of War, dude. Get the I hate all those fucking ads about that. But like, so he was talking about his girlfriend. He found out that she was playing Candy Crush, and she was playing Game of War or something like that.
Yeah.
And she was spending over $100 every week to remain in the top 5 slot
in the world. Apparently, it was a big deal.
Right, and that's apparently a very big deal.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Like,
it hurts, man. It hurts.
Those are the people that these companies thrive off of.
Yep.
And this is why they're so big, is because people playing Candy Crush spending hundreds of dollars a week to continue to play. And then these people playing Game of War who are like, oh, I need to build up my army, but I don't have enough points, so I'm gonna buy more. It's
depressing.
And it's a terrible addiction, because I know and I feel for these people for being like, I feel like I have to spend this money to remain kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
And they feed off of that addiction.
Big time.
It's just like a fast food chain, feeding off of your normal body's notion to be like, yeah, I love carbs. I love this bad food. Give me more of that bad food.
Delicious.
You're just playing off the person's mind. So I'm just fortunate enough to not get caught in that. I've gotten caught in similar things. Obviously, World of Warcraft and stuff like that. Let me speak of it again. Does pay to win not pay to win? Sorry, they do pay transactions. Diablo did it for their auction house. They had it open. You fucking pay real money, you get in-game items. Blizzard gets a cut of it.
Yeah.
So. Stupid Geometry Wars was $5 on Android, no microtransactions.
But no
that's
microtransactions.
Pretty awesome.
So that's legit. Yeah.
If you can get a game with no microtransactions, it's awesome. The new Fallout game was pretty good. They had microtransactions, but it wasn't required. You could actually progress pretty well without microtransactions. They did that right. Get Candy Crush mods with 100 moves, unlimited power-ups. Yeah, I've actually heard of a way to jip out Candy Crush on mobile or on tablet devices, which is when you're about to run out of time, you restart.
I've heard about that.
You close out and it actually gives you it back. So.
Gimp the system.
Trading card booster packs. Hearthstone. Yeah. So like if you think of Hearthstone being like an actual physical game.
Yeah.
Trading card booster packs. Yeah, totally get it. I mean, you're in that system of I need something better, I need something good, and I need it now. So.
And in all fairness, Hearthstone was not the first one. Motherfucking Pokemon trading cards game.
Yeah.
Baseball cards before
Magic
that.
the Gathering. Anything.
Magic. Oh Jesus Christ, Magic. So yeah. It's just not a scheme that's new or unique to gaming.
I think it needs to end, though. I mean, I can understand for, like, trading card games, sure.
Jay said, yeah, I feel you, buddy.
Like, I get that. So...
Yeah.
Hearthstone's hard to play without buying cards, and I'll say that honestly, because it will take you a very long time to get any type of deck to be able to move anywhere. You won't be able to get below the 20 rank without actually getting... very good cards. You have to have at least a couple of legendaries.
Yeah.
You can buy a good way to go is to actually buy the expansion packs, the single player stuff. Now that's fun. That's worth the $20 that it's worth, or that it's priced at. And you get legendaries and stuff without having to do actual work. So, but I don't know.
It's rough. Yeah.
I feel like that. I don't like when people play off of the human genome, basically, of addiction. So,
And it's tricky, and I think the Reddit discussion that you posted was a fairly good one, and I don't say that often about Reddit or 4chan or any internet discussion board, but I thought the discourse was interesting because I think they showed both sides of the argument fairly well. Where on the one hand, like Justin's saying, it is kind of shitty that these companies are we'll say what's not abusing, but maybe exploiting certain human natures that we're all guilty of for financial gain. Which again, like I said, this predates video games, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon. All the trading card games did it. To a certain extent, all video games are at least quasi-guilty of them. A video game developer, and especially a video game publisher, wants their game to be sold, and by that notion, they want to make it appealing to gamers, and they want to have, that we play the games that they want those synapses to fire that give us happy, fuzzy feels. So it's a little hard to decry Candy Crush or Hearthstone or all those games that play off of our worst traits to become addicted without decrying all video games or all forms of entertainment or human existence in general. You can extend it to the point where it's like, are they really any worse? However, the distinction, I think, which was brought up, was the fact that they're monetizing it specifically for the microtransactions. So, I mean, of course, with WoW, has the subscription. I mean, people have been... addiction to video games is just as much of addiction as there is addictions to gambling, drinking, substance abuse, all these awful things that ruin people's lives. There are people that have had their lives ruined by WoW. Is that WoW's fault? That's where I'm not so sure, because we should all be... We're all the masters of our own destiny. We should also be responsible. Some people have addictive personalities. Addiction, I think... there are people that disagree, but I would voice that addiction is a condition. Is not... It's a disease.
Yeah.
And it's not just human nature. I mean, there's human nature part of it, but it's not just like... You can't say to an alcoholic, just stop drinking, man. Boom, problem solved. Hey, you're playing video games a lot? Just stop playing video games. Boom.
Right.
Addiction,
video
what's
games
that?
Is an addiction.
Addiction is
100%.
Yeah, but to be actually addicted, to require that you need help for that. And it's not just a willpower thing, it goes beyond that. It's a disease. It requires treatment. So I have a hard time blaming WoW for those that suffer from that condition. The Candy Crush thing, however, where it's they're trying to monetize the funness, and I see this with World of Tanks or World of Warships, all these other games where, kind of like you'd mentioned, you reach a point where it's almost kind of expected in order to keep up. I see everyone else has the premium guns, the premium ships to get to this level, and I'm playing on this level, and I'm like a scrub right now because I don't got shit. So now I'm obligated to buy that shit. I mean, that I think that's straddling the line between just making it available, making a game available, versus not requiring it, but kind of setting it as a prerequisite in order to be on par, in order to play with your peers. You got to shell out some extra cash, and fuck you if you don't. I think that's where it gets questionable.
That is where it gets questionable.
I mean, game developers, and especially, and I always harp on game publishers, and maybe I should try and be more objective, but I always feel especially game publishers are the ones to really push for that crossing the line of what is ethical.
They are.
So that's shitty.
Eric brought up a good thing, which was Destiny, which is exactly that paywall that you'll get.
That's some shit.
Destiny is a paywall. With the basic Destiny, and you have friends that have play, and they've already bought the expansions and stuff like that, you're not going to be playing with them. You are literally going to be playing whatever multiplayer map's open to you, whatever place is open to you at whatever level you're at. You're not going to hit max level. You're not going to reach those areas unless you spend the money to buy, through the paywall that Destiny has. Destiny is odd because Destiny was definitely meant to be an MMO.
Yeah.
It was meant to be not a subscription model, I don't think, but I think it was definitely meant to be an MMO of sorts.
Yeah.
And midway through development, they changed their idea on their scope, and we've already seen that almost all these DLCs that they've come out with were already in the base game, but they weren't activated.
Right.
So Yeah, we're paying for it now for them not being a way of getting money constantly, either from microtransactions or some type of subscription.
Man, that Red Bull bullshit with like the Red Bull exclusivity.
Oh,
dude,
I saw that. What the fuck?
That was some shit. God, my heart goes out to Destiny players because that's some bullshit. You guys have had to put up with some real assholery, and I'm so fucking sorry. That game looks so fun. Destiny looks so cool. I want to get into it, but God, do I not want to get into it.
Has great gameplay, awesome gameplay. Man. If you love Halo, it has the exact same type of gameplay Halo does. But you run into all the shitty things that they've done. I would recommend just playing Warframe if you want that experience.
And you know, that's always I think part of my appeal to Destiny is that it reminds me of Warframe, because I fucking love Warframe. And honestly, it's kind of guilty of some of that like free-to-play bullshit. I've not spent a dime on it, and I've been enjoying it, and made it pretty damn far. But I recognize that there's some content that I'm just never going to see.
Yep.
Some content that you can achieve through, a lot of hours of gameplay, but there's some stuff that is behind a paywall. But I don't know. To me, it's not too big of a deal. I'm not super enticed by the stuff behind the paywall, and I've been enjoying the game for what it's worth. So I guess going into it with a certain expectation has helped. But I mean, I'm just fucking guilty. I'm no snob. I played some of the free-to-play games too. Me and a buddy of mine fired up World of War ships, the naval equivalent to World of Tanks and World of Warplanes. And it's been pretty fun so far, but both of us, he's played a shit ton of World of War Tanks, we both played a decent amount of World of Warplanes. We both know that level 4, level 5, that mid-range rank, we're going to eventually get to that point where the gap to get to level 6, or to level 5, the point to get to the next level is going to be so excruciating. And matches are, like we're right now, we're in ranks. We're rank 1 and 2, respectively. And the games are being placed in our ranks 1 through 3. Once you cross into rank 4, you're put into games with ranks 4 through 6. And the gaps between 1, 2, and 3 are significant, but not huge. The gaps between 4, 5, and 6 are to the point where if you see a level 6 guy and you're a level 4 guy, you cannot damage him at all.
Jesus.
So that means that gap is going to be excruciating, and the amount of experience it takes to get to level 5 from 4 is complete bullshit. So we're both like, this is fun right now, but we're both kind of like cautiously, alright, when's the bullshit going to start? Because it's going to hit. It's an open beta right now, so the gaps, from what I've heard, are not so bad. But all of us, between my groups of friends, are like, but it's going to get patched, and those gaps are going to get extended, and it's going to be the same shit, and we're all going to get pissed. So we're biding our time and our dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boris, Destiny. It's hard to say games are clones of anything because everyone takes from everyone.
Yeah.
As far as ideas.
Yeah.
Destiny definitely takes ideas from Borderlands as far as the loot system goes. That's a definite in the way that the combat is. Obviously the mobs have health and stuff like that. So yeah, sure. If you want to take it as an aspect of it, looks like Borderlands from that, sure. And the inventory system is like any other game that you play as far as equipping items. But it resembles a lot of Halo as well, which is the setting that it's in, the way that your character moves.
Yep.
The UI is very Halo. So
I see that.
It's a mixture of a lot of different things. So it's a good game. Story is horrible, but it's a good game for gameplay.
Yeah. Actually, Boris, speaking of your comments, I saw also your note about the Game of the Year editions. That's definitely a good way to games that are ridiculous with DLC. Looking at you, Borderlands. I love you, but I'm looking at you, Borderlands. Games that have thousands of DLC options. It's like, man, I could spend a fortune and get all that as it comes out. Or Game of the Year. Just wait for it to happen.
I actually bought a Game of the Year for a couple Batman games.
Nice. Game of the Year, so. Those are good examples. Yeah, Payday 2. I love the shit out of Payday 2, and I've been guilty of buying the fucking DLCs as they come out. But the game, like the Crime Wave edition, I think is what they call it, that has like everything up to a certain point. That's a good fucking deal. And Jason, I like your note about. I think that's a good way to describe it. Like that should be the middle ground that most developers and publishers should go for, like utilizing, not exploiting that the stuff that gives us the warms and fuzzies. That monetizing the fun factor instead of exploiting it. Like savage beasts, just try and utilize. I think you worded it very well, and I appreciate your comment there.
D-Man also said if you like naval games, try Windward.
Oh yeah, you mentioned Windward to me, D-Man. I still need to check that out because like I said, Warships is pretty cool so far. It's the first game of its type. I've never played a naval war game before, so it's or a naval combat game. So it's pretty cool so far. So yeah, if I continue to enjoy Warships and eventually get burned down on it like all the war games do, because god damn it, then yeah, I will most definitely give that shit a try. Because I remember you talking to me about that. It sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, and Boris, Destiny's never going to come to PC. It's just not going to happen.
Probably not.
It's almost a 0% chance it's going to happen.
I'd be shocked.
I would be incredibly shocked if they were just like, Destiny is on PC, especially this late in the game, and especially with all the bad decisions they've made as far as the paywalls and stuff. I don't see there's a way
that Red Bull thing just fucking bummed me out. Yeah. I don't play Destiny, and it depressed me.
What about Doritos and Halo?
Mountain Dew Ritos, yeah, and that's some shit too. That didn't quite bum me out because that stuff was like double XP for the weekend if you download this code. Like that's like, yeah, that's nice, but that's not content that you're otherwise being denied. The Red Bull shit, that's some bull. The Red Bull shit, I just fucking said it. It's
Red Bull. See, look, it's subliminal.
Fucking hate it, man.
Guys stopped playing Destiny after 2 weeks. So much for the 10-year plan. They were mentally challenged if they thought their game was going to last for 10 years. You don't make that type of plan. If you even think back to any type of Blizzard game doing MMOs or any other company doing MMOs, they look like 2 to 3 years in advance, and they're like, this is kind of where we want to be in this area. If you look out 10 years, you're extremely mentally challenged.
Yeah, I mean it's a good thing to shoot for, but that's awfully ambitious to expect that kind of. That kind
holy
of
shit.
10 years
our game's gonna definitely take off.
And
it hasn't.
Yeah. No. And there's there's good examples of games that have Team Fortress 2, and to an extent Team Fortress 1 and Counter-Strike 1.6.
Right.
Games that have lasted longer than that. So there are successful examples, but God, are you going to be disappointed if that's what you're expecting?
Right. You cannot go out expecting your game is going to be great. By any means.
Motherfucking Sunset. We expect this game that'll sell 4,000 copies in the first week. Oh man, hate to break it to you guys. That was kind of depressing though. I thought Sunset looked pretty damn cool, but then the developers come out and it turns out they're kind of assholes.
Yeah, that's typically how it goes.
Yeah, it's indie developers sometimes. Sometimes, not all of them, but sometimes they can be assholes. Oh, man. This has been a depressing note to end it on.
Yeah. Well, let's end it on something happy. Me and Alex, we're gonna go see Megaran tomorrow.
I'm fucking psyched. It's gonna be cool.
I've never seen him in concert, so I'm pretty excited.
This will be like my, oh jeez, I don't know, my 7th time seeing him. I fucking stalk him.
You are a stalker.
It's like the Grateful Dead, like fans would like follow them around in VW buses, like follow them around the tour. That's kind of how I do with Megaran, except instead of in a VW bus, I'm just like in the back of his fucking car as he drives.
Jesus.
I like cling to the bottom of his car as he's driving from a tour stop, like in Cape Fear.
Sir, can you please get out of my car?
How does he know I'm there?
He does.
He can smell my fear.
He can.
I'm excited.
He smells the beard.
But when you follow a guy on tour and don't shower for a month sometime, then yes, everyone smells the beard.
Yes.
Oh man, yeah, it's gonna be fun times. I'm excited. He actually had some pretty cool news to drop, didn't he, today?
He did, yeah. So he's actually gonna have a song in the end of Mighty Number 9. So in the credit roll, he's actually been contacted. He's actually gonna have a song in it. So that is pretty awesome.
Cool.
Very cool for a person who's literally only he made music because he enjoyed the series.
Yeah.
He made the kind of like a tribute to it and hit off pretty well doing it. I mean, I love his Final Fantasy, album. So yeah, totally awesome.
So appropriate, and of course the guy's name is Megaran.
Megaran.
What more do you fucking need?
So.
And I'm sure. Actually, I don't know if you've heard the story behind how the Megaran name and all that other stuff came about, and the Megaran albums.
1 second, Alec. I forgot. Yeah, I didn't get back to you, Boris.
Oh.
You're replacing with a 970. I would go with a 970. 970 is awesome for the price.
I would agree.
You can't beat it. Literally, you cannot beat it. You could go for a 980 if you really wanted to spend the extra $1. I personally have a 970, and I've never had an issue with any type of game.
Yeah.
So I would totally do a 970. Even though the only thing... Oh, Jesus, this is...
Woo, wall of text.
What?
Is this a copy pasta?
I think so.
This might be a copy pasta.
You want to play GTA 5 and Witcher on Ultra? You're going to be hard pressed for Ultra on Witcher and GTA, most definitely.
I just finished reading it. That was pretty good.
Was it good?
It's funny. I mean, it's a copy pasta, but it's fucking. I think it's funny.
Okay.
It's cute.
I would expect if you want to play on Ultra, you're going to need probably a 980 or 2 of some card. So you'd be able to play on very good graphics, though.
Yeah, I would advocate the 970.
The 970 not being true 4 gig, nah. I mean, you're not really going to run into a lot of issues. If you get up to a game that uses that much VRAM, you're already hard pressing that bastard anyways.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you really want a lot of VRAM, just go with the Titan X or something.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And spend all the dollars.
And spend all the dollars. If you
dollar.
want 12 gig of VRAM, sure.
God, you could run an entire game in some of that.
Yeah.
With that much RAM.
But yeah, I don't even know what I was talking about.
Yeah. Oh, it's just I always love the story with how Mega Ran came to be, because he has been a hip hop artist for many years. Kind of on the side, but on a lark, just on a whim, decided, is like, you know what, because he was playing like some of the Mega Man games, like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna make a Mega Man album sampling the music as like the beats for the just the beats for the songs to rap over, and called it Mega Ran, made the album cover where Mega Man is like holding a microphone and changed his face to be black, and just fun, just to have fun with it. And put it on MySpace, because MySpace was the thing at this time, and passed it around to some friends, just kind of, not quite as a joke, because he really worked hard on it, but it was just kind of a labor of love. He didn't really expect anything to come from it, just because it was something fun to do. Hadn't really made it big or anything. He was still fairly indie. Still very indie, actually. Doing local shows and not anything else, really. And then he gets a motherfucking phone call from Capcom, who say, hey man, we heard you made an album using our proprietary IP and music and character, and you turned him black. And he was like, oh shit, here comes the lawsuit. And they were like, so yeah, all of us and the boys in the office, we've been listening to it, and we just want to call you up and say, we fucking love it. And we want to license you. We want to bring you down to E3 and perform. We want to bring you down to PAX and help us like peddle like there's Mega Man games, and his jaw of course went through the floor, and fucking did it, and signed the license deal. If you go to Mega Ran's his Mega Ran album, as well as his Mega Ran 9 album, and I think his 10 album, there's a nice little Capcom logo in the bottom left corner. Yep. The first artist they've ever officially licensed. So what could have been an awful thing to happen turned out to be a true blessing, and he's ridden that momentum ever since. He has achieved untold levels of success within the indie nerdcore community, and it's fucking great for him. So he's an awesome dude, and I wish him all the best, and I'm super excited to see his live show tomorrow. Yeah. With Brindle Floss, it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a blasty blast.
I cannot wait.
And motherfucking Matt61 with another wall of text.
Another copy pasta.
Another wall of text with which we can defend against the Mongolians.
Yes.
So I appreciate that.
If you're on a 1080p monitor, by the way, Boris, you'll be fine. Yeah. I'm thinking of myself being on I have a 1440 resolution, and I can run almost full Ultra on GTA 5. Mm-hmm. I would say if you're on 1080p, you're going to sit pretty damn well. Yeah. Also, the new unofficial game is the most official you're going to get, by the way. Yeah. Since it's made by him himself. Yes. But man. It's Mighty Number 9 is what it's called. Yeah. So. Yeah. It's coming out later this year. I think it has a release date. I know it's on Steam with pre-purchase. Don't pre-purchase. I mean, well, is it September? I want to say September.
So I want to say September or August. That sounds about right. Yeah. Fairly soon. Mm-hmm. Fairly soon. So and
it comes out on Vita.
Yes, yeah, Vita, a whole fucking slew of consoles or platforms.
Platforms, yeah, it's got a lot.
Vita, one of them. Yeah. Oh, I'm excited.
Pretty happy.
We were just saying not to pre-purchase, but I'm tempted. I'm tempted because I'm hopeful.
Alex.
I'm hopeful.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I probably won't.
Alex, pay with your mind.
With my mind dollars. No, I probably won't. If not just because it would take me forever to get to, but I'm certainly hopeful. Yep. It looks cool. The fact that it's got the main. The original Mega Man games director behind it is that to me it should be the seal of quality that it needs. Yep. And I don't know.
Eric said, "Don't do it. Don't pre-order."
Not yet. Not yet. Maybe someday. Maybe someday I'll buy it. But actually, it's definitely someday I'll buy it.
Vita isn't dead.
Not yet.
It's near death. In reference, I would say
that.
it's about a living corpse.
That's a bit harsh.
I love my Vita.
Yeah.
I really do. I think it's a great system. It didn't take off like they thought it would. Honestly, they didn't fucking market it. So, I mean,
Yeah,
they
that's fair.
really didn't do anything to promote the Vita.
Yeah.
But I love it. I love all the
Yeah.
games that have come out for it. It's a very good system.
No complaints.
It
honestly.
is literally the handheld you wish would have came out a long time ago.
Yeah, I could see that. I wonder if it would have come first before the DS had its hooks in the mobile. Well, before before that was the Game Boy Advance. So I don't know. It's hard to not talk about Nintendo when we're talking about the mobile games.
Right.
But I mean, Vita's really solid.
Vita's very solid. Graphical comparison to a Vita
man.
it's
Night and
you can't
day.
even fucking compare
Night
it.
and fucking day. Yeah.
It's very good at what it does. And you pre-order Black Ops 3 20 times, you are a terrible human being. Horrible human being.
You're a brave soul. Rest in peace. In peace.
Indeed.
Rip in peace.
Anyways, you got any last parting words, Alex, before I kill you?
I've lived a good life and played some good games. Out of the thousands of games I have in my Steam library, I wish I would have played thousands more. But
Right.
you know, it's a good way to die. The end of a stream. So now I have 5 or so witnesses. So you know,
Yep.
the court will probably do well for me
Yes.
and stuff. All right, I'll see you all on the other side.
We will see you
AKA
all.
next week.
Indeed. So we'll probably do a Skype one next week because I'll actually, I think, be out of town.
Oh,
So
that's fine.
we will do a Skype-a-roo and see how that goes. Hopefully my hotel has decent internet.
Hopefully, I'll be able to fix my shit and let the webcam interact with multiple applications
Yes.
simultaneously. That was some
Hopefully
weird
so.
shit, man. I apologize for anyone who watched that one because it was
Yeah,
fucking weird.
I'll be replaced by the glass of water. Or you will be.
I'll be replaced by
Yeah,
the
you'll
yes.
be replaced by the glass of
I've
water.
actually been the Glasswire this whole time. This is all just like Twitch live stream magicness
Yes.
to like make my likeness. We just really all we did was we just like magic market a beard over the glass and boom, instant Alex. Just add water. Just add water.
All right. Well,
Nice.
thank you guys, and we will see. Let me raise my other hand. Thank you guys.
Yes, thanks for watching, guys. thanks for talking. Thanks for the
Thanks for
discussions.
a
Love
great
it.
discussion. So, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right, later, everybody. Put you down, Dexter.